Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to the late crypto mining morning show. I'm sorry for being late today. I slept in, to be honest. I messed up my hip yesterday in jiu-jitsu, and then I was at the chiropractor, and then did some other stuff, and then I had trouble going to sleep because everything hurt, and then I slept in, and then we're here. I took my time. It took a while to get out of bed because my spine's not like all wobbly. I don't know. I guess that's part of getting into your 30s and training so hard. It is what it is. We're on the path to recovery. I think I'll be fine. Today, I wanted to talk about kind of squelching some rumors that ETH merge is delayed. There is a distinction. We've talked about this multiple times in the past, but during the Crypto Mining Morning Show, I wanted to address it again. Because I keep getting all the messages, well, it's delayed, it's delayed, it's delayed. We need to be realistic about this. We need to be honest about it. We need to look at the evidence for said claims. There is no evidence for said claims is the short of it, but we're going to go over some of the latest talks, I guess, from Vitalik Buterin as well as Tim Biko, who have both covered this. We're also going to be talking about Polygon not really working. This one's a little interesting because as far as the cleanup goes on the face of Polygon, everything like looks like it's working, or like if you Google it, not much comes up about it not working. But in my experience and experience with a lot of other people on Reddit, it does look like there are a ton of connection issues to the Matic network, and that needs to be addressed and talked about because obviously that's going to impact layer 2 payments for, of course, miners, as well as layer 2 activities on things like OpenSea, etc., which is kind of where I'm having some issues. And then we are going to talk about, hopefully today, just some more mining stuff because, you know, we did skip that yesterday. We had that long kind of NVIDIA keynote from CES 2022. However disappointing that was. Now we do have, I guess, a launch date for the RTX 3050 along with some more information on it. We did get a confirmed bus width size on the RX 50 or 6500 XT. That's going to be hard. 6500, 5600. You know what I'm saying. So there's a few things there that, you know, we did get more information on, but I think we've pretty much covered it to this point. And then I did miss the ad. Yesterday's video was demonetized, kind of expected. There ended up being a song or something in one of the ads for one of the video games that they did go ahead and claim on the channel. So there is no revenue from yesterday's video. Hopefully we make that up today, of course, with the ad from Crypto.com. Today's sponsor is Crypto.com. Crypto.com is my go-to centralized exchange for liquidating my crypto assets. With their Crypto.com Visa debit card, I can load up my mined Ethereum to pay for power and other operating costs quickly while earning up to 8% cash back. In addition to the Visa debit card, there are additional fiat options including wire transfers to easily receive your profits. Crypto.com also offers additional services including trading and even staking to earn additional revenue on your investments. Join 10 million plus users buying and selling 100 plus cryptocurrencies at true cost by using my affiliate link in the description for a $25 funding bonus. Or enter referral code SOAT at sign up for the same bonus. Remember, cryptocurrency investment comes with significant risks, so do your own research. Alrighty, welcome back. I am getting notifications down in the comment section below that if you guys are interested, Gold Shell does have the KD6 available apparently on their shop. I guess to the point to where enough people are going there to where there's a CAPTCHA. So let me verify this real quick. I'm on a boat. Yeah. So I see the CK6. I do see the KD6 up and running. And the total is $37,999 with an initial payment of $11,000. And I don't necessarily see a release. It says in stock, so I'm not sure. I guess the first payment you do $11,000 because that's the most they can do through here, and then their final payment, which is sent to you by email, is $26,000. That's $37,000. Another note about that is it does make $242 dollars a day. So if we did a calculator and did the basically 38,000 and divided by 242. It's a 157-day payoff. That's pretty good. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to afford one at this point thanks to the holidays, etc. But hopefully one of y'all can pick it up and, you know, have basically my entire mining farm in one deal. Is essentially what it is. So that's pretty cool. But is there anything good for under 10K? Well, the problem is the gold shell website's having issues, right? So let's take a look. Handshake, Scicoin, LT5. I think the LT5 is cheaper than it is here. 8,000 on BT miners, and they do have some in stock for 500 less. It looks like, to me, unfortunately, hold on. Password protected. Sold out anyways. So LT5 in the library box. And the HS5. No. I'm going to go with no. What does the LT5 make right now? LT-5. We were going to usually do this at the end of the video. LT5. 14 bucks a day for 7,500. That doesn't seem very good. That's a 2-year payoff almost, 535 days. So no, doesn't look like anything but the Cadena miner is good, the new KD6. Keeping in mind that once these start getting shipped off, this profitability is probably going to drop. So it is what it is. Yes, but be very careful. $37,000 on a miner that just launched. My assumption, just in general here, would be that the profitability drops down to what the KD5 is, so $165 a day, once you account for difficulty, etc. So that's kind of where I would see it sitting at, because the KD5s have been selling for about that price. So what you're more than likely realistically looking at is a 230-day to a year payoff, and it could get better, it could get worse. It's hard to predict those things. But let's go ahead and talk about Ethereum 2.0, the merge, etc. Brief overview here, guys. Okay, so I've covered this a ton. We've talked about the merge, which is going to essentially be the portion of the upgrade to Ethereum that removes proof of work. So that is why we are concerned about it as miners, because that will affect our profitability with GPUs specifically, and ASICs if you do have Ethereum ASICs or ETH hash, right? So this is the reason why we're concerned about the merge, not necessarily Ethereum 2.0. A huge misconception that keeps happening is the idea that the delay to Ethereum 2.0 means a delay to the merge or to the end of proof of work. This is not true. We have covered this a few months ago. We got clarification from the dev teams to basically in support of this, which is that, you know, the merge is still planned for that June 2022 launch. And as such, that's when proof of work mining should theoretically end by all accounts. And that's kind of where we are at. So what we are looking for specifically when we are looking for a delay to, you know, proof of stake essentially, and the continued mining with GPUs or ASICs on the network, is we're specifically looking at that merge time. Now, a sign of this merge time would be how long they delay the difficulty bomb. Without going into too much detail, the difficulty bomb was basically a ticker that was put into place by Ethereum devs to essentially say this is when we will move to proof of stake. What it is basically a piece of code, because code is law if we go all the way through, you know, the Ethereum history, which is at this point a joke, but code is law. They wanted to implement something into the code that forced them to move to proof of stake. So what they inputted into the code was a difficulty bomb. This difficulty bomb, as we know it, essentially would go off and then exponentially increase the difficulty on the network for miners to where it was unprofitable for miners, thereby making miners drop off, which would then of course reduce the security on the Ethereum network, which would then influence the devs to move quicker to, of course, implement a new consensus mechanism in the form of proof of stake. However, what we have seen happening over the past, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years at this point, is a constant delay of the difficulty bomb, thereby breaking the code is law that they always have upheld so adamantly in the past until, things didn't go their way, and then they just modified the code. That aside, yes, I am going to make those pokes, is that essentially they just kept delaying the bomb. They would go in, they'd create an EIP, which is an Ethereum change proposal, essentially. It's their version of change management, I suppose, is the best way to explain it. And improvement proposal is what it stands for, by the way. And which is funny because this isn't really an improvement, but they would go in with an EIP and they would delay the bomb. And then that would allow the proof of work consensus mechanism to continue on down the road. So what we're looking for specifically that we could take as evidence would be something that would say like, okay, the difficulty bomb is now delayed till X date, right? Or till Y date. Right now, it's just till June. So I believe it's in February the change takes place, and then in June, of course, it would go off. So the implementation of proof of stake needs to happen before June. Typically, we would see these bombs push out further and further and further, years ahead of time. But in this particular case, it's just going to be like those 4 months. Now, I got more messages from viewers, etc., saying, it looks like ETH 2.0 is delayed, so on and so forth. I have a quick article here on Binance.com just to give you guys an up-to-date of what Vitalik Buterin is saying. And I did go ahead and check that EIP for the difficulty bomb delay as well. That doesn't seem to have changed. So here you go. This is once again can be a little confusing if you read it incorrectly. So Vitalik Buterin clarifies concerns about ETH 2.0 upgrade delays. Specifically, what we're talking about is ETH 2.0, not necessarily proof of work, but let's get into it. The Ethereum network is slated for its biggest upgrade in 2022 as it moves from proof of work mining consensus towards proof of stake. The official page for Ethereum 2.0 suggests the imminent move to proof of stake could take place by the second quarter of 2022. However, due to continuous delays since the beginning of the project, rumors started to circulate on the Chinese social media that ETH 2.0 upgrade might get delayed by another year. Vitalik Buterin, the co-founder of Ethereum Network, took to WeChat, a popular Chinese social media platform, to clear the speculations. A popular WeChat group for Ethereum shared a screenshot of the article, which hints at a possible year-long delay. Buterin responded in the group and said, "I didn't say that." End quote. The preparation for ETH 2.0 mainnet launch has begun as the developers begin the project launched behind the project launched the testnet in December for a mass trial. The Kintsugi testnet, I need to go learn how to pronounce that. I'm sorry, guys. The Kintsugi testnet went live on the 21st of December, which is being seen as the last major step for the migration to ETH 2.0. Over the past few months, client teams have been working tirelessly to implement a new set of merge milestones. Vitalik Buterin assures a timely launch. The ETH 2.0 is a massive project to make Ethereum scalable and as fast as many centralized payment processors such as Visa and MasterCard. The speculations about the delay in ETH 2.0 launch come from the history of delays in ETH 2.0. The first major step, i.e. launch of the beacon chain, went through a similar cycle. For the launch of the beacon chain, a certain number of ETH was required to be staked. And just a week before launch, the amount of staked ETH was far from the target. However, Buterin himself staked millions to fulfill the target. Now with Buterin himself clearing the air about the possible delay, the crypto community can breathe a sigh of relief. The ETH 2.0 move is highly anticipated, and many expect the ETH price to reach new all-time highs in the run-up to the major upgrade. All right. So basically coming out and saying, don't worry about it. There's no delay at this point. So we have not only no evidence from, of course, the EIPs, right? Or specifically that difficulty bomb being delayed, and no evidence from talks from Vitalik Buterin. Now, we do need to bring up, I guess, the elephant in the room I think that I want to talk about here is going to be the fact that there was not enough ETH stake to support the beacon chain, and that Vitalik Buterin himself put millions into the stake to basically launch it. This should be a red flag, in my humble opinion, from an investment standpoint, due to the fact that, like, if you have a large project like that, usually, especially being the second largest cryptocurrency currently around, you would expect investors to be hopping all over the chance to stake ETH 2.0 if they actually believed in the proof of stake version of this chain. So just something I noticed, especially while reading this, it was on top of my head. I wanted to point that out for you guys. Am I going to be staking 32 ETH personally? Probably not. More than likely, no. It's a lot of money. If I look into the staking pools, there still seems to be issues there. I'm not down with it. But I'd like to hear y'all's thoughts and opinions on staking ETH, the move to proof of stake, etc. down in the comment section below or in live chat, which we'll get to in a bit. So let's go ahead. We got Mind Your Biz up here in chat. Let's go ahead and talk about what I've been struggling with all night, pretty much. I was up late last night trying to get NFTs sold. And part of that was on the Polygon network. So here's what's happening, essentially, to the best of my knowledge. There's an NFT game project that has basically had the effects of a DDoS attack, essentially, at this point on the Matic network. And because of that, the Matic network is like impossible to connect to. For a brief second, I was able to connect via their bridging tool, and that was about the only thing I was ever able to connect with. The odd part here is if you Google anything surrounding it, there's no official, like CoinDesk isn't talking about it, Bitcoin.com, none of the publications are talking about it, which is weird. The only place you can find evidence of this happening outside of trying it for yourself is within Reddit. So, I mean, as with everything on the internet these days, it does seem like, to me, just in general, that, you know, you got to go to Reddit to get any real news anymore because everything else, even through DuckDuckGo, is so filtered and who knows where the money's going across the board. This should be something that should be talked about on, you know, the large, like CoinDesk, for example. It should be being addressed. I don't know why it's not. This has been down since last night. I tried again this morning. Here's the evidence. So I have MetaMask here pulled up. I'm trying to connect to the Matic mainnet on this RPC with this chain ID, this currency symbol, etc. And we cannot fetch the chain ID. So it asks if your URL is correct. Now, what I was told by the team when in support was reconnect to the network. So delete it, re-add it. So that's what I was trying to do. Now I can't even re-add it. So now at this point, my quick swap is broken. And in addition to that, I can't even get into, I can't even get into my bridges either. So if I went to the bridge, right, I can't connect to the bridge either. So if we did like the Polygon bridge here, it won't connect either. So I can connect to the Ethereum part, but if I go to switch to Polygon, sorry, excuse me. So, let's check those. That's correct. Let's see if we can switch network. It looks like maybe it's working right now. Ooh, it is. Okay. Or is it? Okay. Looks like we're back up right now. These are the errors that I was getting. So I'm glad to see it back up and running. I'm not sure how long it will be running for. But right now, if you're trying to make some changes, I feel like I need to go like get everything done that I need to get done. I was up to like 2 a.m. trying to get it to work last night. 1 a.m. I don't know, somewhere around there. Anyways, we also do have fee issues that are going really high, making it not like super advantageous like it typically is off of a layer 1 solution or off of like the ETH layer 1 solution or ETH network. It's something that needs to be talked about because, like I said, it felt like to me this isn't being addressed. It felt like everything keeps getting swept under the rug with it. Right now, though, like I said, it looks like we were able to connect. In fact, I'm just going to confirm it real quick. And let me make sure there's no personal information or data on there. Oh, it won't show my, yeah, that's right, because we're not doing the screen cap. So we are connected right now to Polygon. And then we can see it here. So that's like the Polygon chain account balance or whatever. We can deposit and withdraw via the bridge, which means that quick swap should be connected as well and seeing it. And we should be able to like do our swaps, etc. All right. So I love that all we had to do was put this title out there and then make the video, and then we have the network working again. First of all, I'm not sure how long it's going to be up, and I feel like I might go down, or we might stop the stream. I might try to do something and it might go down again. Either way, it's important that this is talked about in general, like I said, because I feel like this should have been covered yesterday, ideally, ideally by like some of the large cryptocurrency publications, and it wasn't. It felt like it was ignored. And the issues that we have obviously with Polygon Matic in general is that it does lean more towards like a centralized ecosystem, when really we want to push more and more to decentralized options. Does that mean it's a bad project? No. Does it mean we don't need it? No, because we definitely need something like Polygon Matic. I think there are, some things coming up. I think Arbitrum, for example, we'll have to take a look at all of those options and kind of go from there. The big deal, of course, for miners here was getting paid out via, of course, your Ethermine and I believe Flexpool both had Polygon payouts, which were getting delays and weird stuff happening to them. So if you had issues with it, I think hopefully everything starts working today, and we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and talk about, well, we could talk about the state of Ethereum, but I think we all know, right? So the largest, so first of all, Ethereum fees have been ridiculous. And then now, of course, with Polygon, Matic doesn't seem to have resolved that, as the fees on there have gone ridiculous, thanks to, of course, once you have that amount of load due to NFTs. There was a news analysis article here that was just released today by Edward Osterbahn, something like that, on CoinDesk, and it's the state of Ethereum's fee market. What was the motivation for EIP 1559 after 4 months? What real impacts on Ethereum have we seen? Are you guys ready for this? Well, looking back on August's London hard fork, it is easy to focus on the millions of Ether burnt via transaction fees. While important, just looking at the burn mechanism would be short-sighted and overly focus on the number go up. This article originally appeared in the Valid Points CoinDesk Weekly News, breaking down Ethereum 2.0. All right, so what was the motivation for EIP 1559, and after 4 months, what real impacts have we seen? Below are 4 of the core issues that improvement proposal aimed to address. Mismatch between volatility of transaction fee levels and social cost of transactions. A report from Coinbase highlights the upgrades effects seen during operation, in which the exchange noted it is currently saving 27 ETH per day from base fee refunds. When contrasting legacy style transactions with post EIP 1559 style transactions, Coinbase saves 9% per transaction using the new format. So there you go. It's a positive for Coinbase. Needless delays for users. Another noticeable improvement post EIP 1559 was the broadcast to confirmation time that Coinbase recorded on transactions. While saving on gas, Coinbase also saw transactions confirmed an average of 11 seconds faster than before the London hard fork. Block time on Ethereum typically takes 13 seconds, so the upgrade speeds confirmation up to 0.7 by 0.7 blocks. Inefficiencies of first price auctions. On the opposing side, Galaxy Digital's look into EIP 1559 reported issues due to increased block size, gas limits, and the gaming of an algorithmically adjusting base fee. While Ethereum developers increased the gas limit with the hope that blocks would find an equilibrium around 15 million gas, the reality has been a majority of completely full blocks nearing 30 million gas. Higher gas limits and full blocks strains mining and node hardware and can have a negative impact on the decentralization of a network. Finally, tech-savvy users and bots have been able to look at the mempool where all pending Ethereum transactions are waiting to process and see whether the base fee will adjust up or down in the next block. With this information, bots are able to send transactions within the cheaper block and essentially game the algorithm. Obviously, we've talked about this problem previously. If you guys want more in-depth, we have videos on the channel for it, but it's one of the things that I think gets kind of overlooked is like we're kind of talking about positives here, but these positives are directly related to basically, Coinbase. And then basically what's happening is everybody that's getting an advantage out of this is botting, essentially, which is really like, if we're talking about cryptocurrency industry or the tech industry as a whole, the advantage is going to the bots in everything, right? Supply of physical hardware, the advantage is going to the bots. Trading, the advantage is going to the bots. Manipulating gas fees, the advantage is going to the bots. Instability of blockchains with no block reward. The burn mechanism built into EIP 1559 helps solve a long-term validation problem inherent to blockchains. Block rewards into perpetuity help incentivize miners and validators to bring security to the network, but the associated inflation is detrimental to the network's native token. In order to solve this dilemma, EIP 1559 burns transaction fees to counteract block reward inflation. So you guys know we already really talked about this on Monday with the blockchain Ergo, and we've been against it obviously with EIP 1559, which is the manipulation of the monetary policy to increase the price of the token on whatever chain, right? So in the case of Ergo, it's ERG. In the case of Ethereum, it's ETH. And with this, essentially EIP 1559 going through, what the goal was at the end of the day, of course, was to combat inflation. And this is what the new EIP 27 on Ergo is going to attempt to do as well, which is combat inflation. Typically what this translates into is, well, traditional economic problems, which is increase the value or increase the amount of assets or the value of the assets held by the top 1%, while putting the burden of the network and the work and the burden of, basically compensating for this on the miners, which are the workers, the laymen, right? The people that are putting the work in to provide security to your network. Now, in theory, what Ergo is doing, as opposed to Ethereum, is allowing the miners to vote on it. However, of course, like we talked about, some of the problems there being that this will be determined by the mining pools, not necessarily the individual miners, which was also in general kind of the same issue with EIP 1559. Hence why, going back through this sort of thing, remembering exactly the struggle with EIP 1559 makes me even more kind of cautious surrounding EIP 27 with Ergo. Just so that we have a little bit of a history lesson there. Those who don't remember are doomed to repeat it, right? So the following is an overview of the network activity on Ethereum 2.0 Beacon Chain over the past week. For more information about the metrics featured in this section, check out the 101 explainer on ETH 2.0 network. So network participation rate weekly 99.2 to 99.4%. Total ETH deposited 8,912,434 ETH, which is 34.25 billion in US dollars. Number of validators, 274,818, only went up by 0.7% with 82 pending. Share of total ETH supply deposited, 7.5%. Historical activity, not too big. I guess your estimated APR is 6.64%. All right. Let's see if we can get some more information out of this. All right, so the validated take. Sushi attempts a reorganization of its core team after drama. Okay, this is all blah, blah, blah. So we're just looking at the charts. And that's about it. Anyways, So I think I kind of made my point there as far as what I was interested in. And let's go ahead and move on to mining. I don't think I pulled up. I did not pull up FlexPool. FlexPool. What to mine? What else did we want? Miner pool. See if we got a, I don't think we did, but all right. So we have 5.2 gigahash online with 14 workers doing about $304 US a day. And that is 0.08 ETH a day. Of course, that's before power costs. If we take a look at our Flux mining pool, we have not received a new block in the past 48 hours, which is since, of course, the posting of my video about the incredible luck that we had on there. I will have to add either more hash power, which is what I'm looking at doing actually here pretty soon, as soon as I can get some power supplies in, because I have some 1063 gigs, or we're going to go to pool mining, or a combination of the both, of the two, okay? That's pretty much what I'm looking at personally. So if you guys are wondering what I'm about to do, I'm about to add more solutions a second onto the network for my solo mining. If that does not resolve and add in, you know, additional solo blocks, then we'll move to mining to the pool and just, you know, not have as much fun as far as the luck goes, but also, you know, maintain profitability on those rigs. Let's move to what to mine. The RTX 3090. Let's go ahead and get these numbers queued in real quick. Show more. Bum, bum. I think it was off. Take the 480 off there. And we have Ethereum in first at $5.78 a day after power. It looks like NiceHash changed their logo on what to mine. I'm curious now, did NiceHash change their logo? NiceHash has changed their logo, it appears. Probably because so many people use the unhappy face version of their logo for all the dirty deeds they performed in the past. So maybe they're trying to distance themselves from that. That would be my assumption. So good job, NiceHash, on manipulating public perception in your favor. But we caught you, so don't worry about it. We know who you are. Cero in second place with $3.81 a day after power, and Ravencoin in third place with $3.76 a day after power. Now, all of these, this is what's pretty incredible. We can go pretty much how far before we drop below $3? All the way down to Firo, which means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 options that make over $3 a day. Now, this is probably the most profitable the altcoin market for mining outside of, for GPU mining, has been in years. Since probably like 2017, like 5 years. This is the most profitable it's ever been. It's pretty incredible. It's cool. Yes, we're going to take a hit going down, you know, from the $5.78 a day to $3.81. That's a pretty big hit to a lot of people, but GPU mining is not going to be dead. We're going to be okay, it looks like, because we have 10 other options outside of Ethereum that's going to be profitable daily. So there's a little light at the end of the tunnel here. There's a little light. Let's go ahead and look at the 2080 Ti, which historically has been more profitable on Flux, but of course the difficulty on Flux has increased significantly. So I'm going to presume this maybe isn't true, but it is still the case. Awesome. So the 2080 Ti on Flux is the most profitable at $3.10 a day after power. Now, here's something I forgot to do for you guys, because this isn't really fair. The 3090, just to be clear, because I'm backing it up here, is not 75. It's actually 109. So if we calculate that out, Flux is more profitable on the 3090. And I can prove that right here. So before people get all upset, here is the 3080 Ti at 108 and 92. So what the mine does not still have this calculated incorrectly. So technically, you know, like I said before on the Flux video, you need to get your cards on there and verify it, because what to mine doesn't necessarily have all of these hash rates correct. And so that's going to be important for you guys to take into account, essentially. And actually, this is incorrect too. So it'd still be second. I just realized. So let's do this again. So 3090, calculate Zel hash 110, let's just say, and let's calculate that out. So on the 3090, Flux is in second place, which seems more realistic really at this point, but not in first place. And then the 2080 Ti, that takes over. If we go into the 6600 XT, for example, let's take a look. Ethereum is in first place at $1.67. Let's look at the Zel hash performance on it. It says about 27 hash a second. What were we at on the 6600 again? I might need to go look at my own video again. We'll calculate this out. I'll make sure I write all the numbers in. I'm probably going to have to come in and create custom sheets for these at some point so we can keep it all up. As far as turning up the audio, Gun Muse, we are at 0 decibels, and if we turn it up anymore, we will be clipping. We have pretty good amplification going on right now as well. So I'm wondering if something, maybe try plugging your headset all the way in. Unless other people are experiencing this too, but it doesn't seem to be a problem for me right now. All right, so 6600 or 29, that's right. Okay. So I think the 6600 XTs are better than the 27 they're reporting on Flux. Regardless, let's take a look at the Flux difficulty, because obviously this is the one that we're worried about. And we did see that huge jump in difficulty, but as far as overall hash rate, it has come back down. We were at 2.9 megasouls a day yesterday, and today we're at 2.5 megasouls a day. So we have dropped. You can actually kind of see it in the chart in the difficulty. You can barely, it's hard to see these things. It's really frustrating. I need to get a better look at it. I need to find a better site to look at diff for real. But it looks like we did dip back down. So we had that spike on January 3rd, and then we're coming back down. Let's take a look at the difficulty chart on Ethereum. Still kind of bouncing all over the place. I think Ethereum really is maintaining right around where it should, with a gradual increase, primarily just due to the fact that, like, at this point, I think everybody's kind of bouncing around different coins, seeing what they can do. But you can see, right? Down, back up. Plus, you know, the algorithm at this point, well, is overused so much that, like, it's going to fluctuate more. All right. Raven coin. Had a significant increase on January 4th. And the network hash rate is at 10.2 terahash a second. Yep. With a spike right there on January 4th. Ergo. Ergo's been on the steady decline since since January 2nd. And they are at 15.69 terahash a second. And that's the amount of hash on the network. See Vertcoin here. There was a recent drop off, it looks like, back in December. We've already talked about that. Fero's kind of bouncing around. Really no changes from January 3rd. And What else is there that we want to look at? I guess Cortex is coming back profitable. That's the Chinese coin that gets... No, sorry. Conflux is that one. Cortex is the other one. Firo, Flux, Ergo. I did want to see, have we seen anything weird on the Ella? We did. I'm pretty sure this is a dead coin, by the way, guys. But yesterday it was showing most profitable. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about some community stuff. So I'm going to put it in chat. I'm on Gettr now. It is a free speech platform, but they have banned white supremacists, so that's good. I don't know where you stand on everything at this point, but I don't trust Twitter necessarily, especially when it comes to cryptocurrency. One of the things that you guys need to keep in mind is that the principled cryptocurrency user is to a large extent going to be leaning towards libertarian principles in general. This is going to push them off platforms that lean heavily towards government influence control, let's say, especially over things like your finances or your speech, etc. So platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and so on. So just to make sure, we are on, of course, Library, and that is a decentralized platform. Obviously, one of the big things about blockchain technology in general is to put the power of the technology of the web back into people's hands. That's what I believe. Now, is Gettr built on blockchain? No, I think that there's some other options. The reason that we're on Gettr is because Gettr is really to a certain extent, you need to be able to grow. You need to be on a platform that allows you to grow outside of just the people that you interact with. So, for example, right, we don't utilize Discord or chat applications to reach new people. We use those to essentially communicate with the community in general, which is why we went with Rocket Chat. But in the case of social media, you know, unfortunately, like, from the perspective of a YouTuber, what you're trying to do is reach more an audience. Part of the reason why Gettr is making a big splash right now is because Rogan's on there, you know, and that's pretty much why I went ahead and created the account. You can follow me over there. It's kind of a backup to Twitter. Am I going to use it as much as Twitter? Probably not, but maybe in the future we have to, and that's kind of where we're at. I hope, you know, something more like Minds would take off, etc. It's a balance. It is what it is, but we're on there. So that's pretty much it. Make of it what you will. It doesn't mean that I align with everybody on the platform. It just means that from the perspective of cryptocurrency, the audience that follows cryptocurrency is more than likely going to be phased out and pushed out of Twitter over time, would be my assumption. All right, so let's talk about the NFT I created. So I just built this and it's cool. You know, you can make an offer. I don't know why I just listed it real quick. I'm probably going to be putting versions on all of the blockchains. So if you're looking for Ravencoin or Ergo, etc., there'll be like different chain versions of this NFT, but I drew this myself. I thought it was cool. So it just says keep calm and mine on, and then I drew a little mining rig there, a little 8-card GPU rig. The cards are kind of close together, so let's just assume they're RX 6600s or GTX 1063 gigs or 1660 supers, you know. We'll assume that, especially because we only have one power supply currently in that rig. I think that's pretty much what it can handle. This also, though, for those that are interested, is turned into a t-shirt. I created it primarily for a t-shirt design. And here is the t-shirt. It will be available below the channel at some point, but It isn't fully vetted yet, so it's still technically under review by the YouTube team. That being said, you can purchase it directly through my creator page on Teespring. And if you'd like it as a sticker, I will look at making it into a sticker. Right now, we just have the pullover hoodie option, the classic tee, I think, which is a little cheaper, so on. Now, I had these I Bought Your GPU shirts at $11.99. Let me make a disclaimer here before people get mad about the price increase of this t-shirt over the other one, okay? So first of all, I can't even go that low on price on Teespring anymore. It's just not possible. So the price of that shirt is added, is like kind of grandfathered in. That may change. It may go up in price from the $11.99. In addition, selling at $11.99 was netting me per sale 30 cents. Okay, so I'm gonna get a little bit more money out of the Keep Calm and Mine On t-shirt. But that also being said, it's still not crazy. It's a couple dollars per order, but it helps me out. And I think the shirt's cool. I'm going to be ordering one myself, and it'll probably take me like 20 shirt orders before I even pay off my own shirt. But there you go. I could make my own shirts. We could go back to that again. It was extremely time consuming. We used to have our own printed and then ship them out and all of that. You have to create a store. Technically, I still have the Shopify store, that sort of thing. But then all the focus gets moved away from content creation and just trying to ship shirts. That's my experience in how all of this functions. And now running a farm that takes a significant amount of focus on top of trying to maintain content. I was happy enough just to create a new design, and I thought this design was cool. So there you go. And as far as the, just go right click the NFT and you're good to go as far as the design goes. You can definitely go do that. There you go. So I just thought it was cool. I had the idea and I wanted to make the shirt. I made it myself in Inkscape. So none of the design was made by anybody else. Like, I completely did it. So I'm pretty happy. I know from an artistic standpoint, it's probably not the best. I'm sure there's artists that are super good. But, I was happy with it. Being a non-artist, making a t-shirt design. And I felt like in the bear market, this is like something people needed to know too. So the messaging was clear. All right, mining pool profits for the past 90 days. Crazy Pool in first, Mining Pool Hub in second, and Ethermine in third. Last 60 days, Crazy Pool in first, Mining Pool Hub in second, and ZET in third. Last 30 days, Crazy Pool still maintaining in first, with ZET in second and Mining Pool Hub in third. Last 21 days, still Crazy Pool. Flex Pool moves into second and Mining Pool Hub in third. Last 14 days, Crazy Pool still in first. Mining Pool Hub in second and Flex Pool in third. Last 7 days, still Crazy Pool in first. ZET in second and Flex Pool in third. Last 3 days, Crazy Pool still in first. What is going on? Flex Pool in second and Ethermine in third. And for the last day, Crazy Pool does finally get knocked out of the runnings and moves to third with ZET in first and Ethermine in second. Obviously, they're doing something over at Crazy Pool. What is it? I'm not really necessarily sure, but they've had some good luck over there the past 90 days. So there's that. And then we talked about ASICs in the beginning. The KD6 miner is available on Gold Shell. If you guys want to go purchase it, it's an initial price of $11,000. You got to pay another, $27,000 on top of that. you're really looking at $38,000 for a miner that's projected to make $242 a day. More realistically, probably $164 a day. Either way, your ROI on that ASIC is less than a year, which is better than pretty much anything else on the market at this time. And so that's pretty incredible. You may want to look into it if you have the money to drop on it, which at this point, you know, who does and who doesn't is up to you. I don't. And I run a YouTube channel and been mining for a while. So, you know, unfortunately, that's kind of the mining game. And what's the mining game? The mining game is just reinvesting whatever you can into more hardware. That's the game. That's the mining discipline. My farm right now, as you guys saw, is like $300 a day before power. So, you know, if we calculate that out and we did like a 30-day month times 300, that's only $9,000 for the month. I say only $9,000. We do have rent that comes out of that at the $1,600, plus we have like the additional that comes out from the power, which is another couple grand. So at the end of the day, we're only really clearing about $4,000. The YouTube's kind of stopped clearing any sort of cash whatsoever for the past month. It looks like it's coming back, so I think we'll be okay. I think interest is building back up, but there's not like a lot of YouTube money to dump into anything other than, because I do this full time, other than just, you know, maintaining lifestyle for the kids and the wife. And that is going to be priority there. And then everything else, we're just reinvesting as hard as we can, getting more hardware. But as we get more hardware, as you guys can see, the difficulty is rising on all proof of work networks, which means we're basically investing in maintaining the farm's profitability. That's what we're doing. We're just maintaining. We aren't increasing, right? So that's kind of where I'm at as far as all that goes personally. And hopefully what happens is we get another like little bit of boost, and then maybe I can take that and reinvest it. Some of the things I've been doing alternatively to make additional cash is playing in NFTs. And I can be honest with you guys about that. Investing into some NFTs last month definitely made up for some of the loss of profitability on Ethereum mining. And there's a couple caveats to that, right? So we did make some investments on NFTs that didn't do well. And that's kind of the hard part about NFTs and trading in general. They are kind of the big payoffs. They're the crazy payoffs. The best bet if you're trying to get into an NFT that's going to make money is using a platform people care about. So I'm going to be talking about this soon, because there seems to be this huge push that whenever I talk about Ethereum or Polygon and making investments in NFTs, everybody wants me to go buy some shit NFT on the Ravencoin network or on the Ergo network or whatever. Now, the shit NFT part isn't saying that the art is shit. The shit part of that is going to be that essentially your return on investment, your floor prices are low. So if you're actually like trying to buy and sell NFTs, there's a couple parts. One, you want to invest into it prior to the actual launch of the NFT. So you want to be part of the minting process. What this means is that you have a base level of investment. An example of this that I recently did was the Galactic Gangsters or whatever. And the Galactic Gang, essentially, because I was able to mint some, meant that I was able to purchase them for about $250 a piece. It was about 0.07 ETH. The floor price of those right now is 0.38 ETH or something like that, which comes out to like $1,500. Because I was able to mint them and then just sell them at that floor price on a platform that everybody uses, i.e. OpenSea, I was able to actually make a huge return on investment via these things, right? Now, where I did make mistakes was trying to purchase something called Immutable Kongs on Immutable X. I thought that that platform would start to take off. Unfortunately, that doesn't appear to be the case, so we've kind of made a loss over there on those. So obviously I don't talk about investing in NFTs a ton because I'm still learning and I'm still making a ton of mistakes within it. But these are some of the kind of like these are some of the observations I've made, how to actually make them function. Now, do I believe in NFTs? I think, as you guys know, I think they're a little silly. I think that the storage portion of the NFTs need to be resolved, especially at this point before they're like locked in and set. I am playing around with Sandbox right now. Sandbox is very expensive to get into. I think part of that, of course, is the Snoop Dogg effect over there. That being said, you can get in and start playing with like making your own stuff, which is cool. I didn't get into the alpha, so I haven't really been able to play around in game or anything like that. But I have created avatars, played with trying to purchase some cheap items, stuff like that. That's going to all go into like the metaverse bucket that we will be talking about. There's a new concept within NFTs that I think is going to be more relevant for mobile gaming. And I think really NFTs into mobile gaming is going to make the most sense early on. As a gamer, I think we've already talked about in the past how I'm not too keen on in-game economies based around NFTs for a multitude of problems, primarily devs maintaining, of course, the ecosystem and the economy in general, because we haven't seen devs even be able to do that with in-game currencies in examples like New World, for example, right? So the microtransaction kind of ecosystem is very prevalent already in mobile games. That's why one of the recent investments that I worked on that I got into, that I found interesting, that did pay off, if you guys want to look at it, is MicroPets. Now, just by the fact of me talking about it, unfortunately, we'll pump it. The reason MicroPets was interesting is it will be being turned into basically a mobile game. You'll be able to take your MicroPets and put them into the mobile game and play around with them, essentially play the game with them. This is more of what's known as a term coined as like microverse, because it's not like a huge metaverse with VR worlds or anything like that. It's just like, oh, you get, a little pet and you get to play with it in game. So that's one I looked at. That did require bridging over to the Binance Smart Chain, which we're going to talk about as well, because I'm in a geographical location where I can't use Binance.us. I can use the Binance Smart Chain. That being said, it's typically through alternate decentralized exchanges. So it's not like I can actually even use the Binance bridges, really. I have to use alternate bridges. And we'll kind of go over what those alternate bridges are. If you guys are interested in any of these topics, let me know. It's something that's in the process of being researched. Part of the benefit of watching the live shows is I'm going to be talking about this stuff to you guys in a manner that, as I discover it, letting you know right away. Whereas the pre-made videos, etc., are something that I feel like need additional research, better support, as far as like evidence and, sources, etc. So everything I'm saying right now is obviously not financial advice, very early on, and just observations that I've made on any particular network, etc. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into questions for the day. Luckily, I have some time, so I'm going to sit down. Oh, my back and hips are killing me. And we will go from there. So we'll go ahead and show that one. Barbu says, I am a big scammer. Go ahead and provide evidence and source details for that accusation. We can address them. I'm always willing to address that with you guys if you feel like I am. I feel like if I was a big scammer, I'd have a lot more followers. But let's go ahead and get into this. D Miner says, ask Tech, what do you think the everyday guy does with ETH? And do you think people will still buy it for investment? So the everyday guy right now for ETH is investing in NFTs. That's what they're doing. Now, because of and this is a weird concept, but follow me here. Not almost, but actually guaranteed, because the fees are so high on Ethereum and even obviously on Polygon, Matic, etc. The incentive to sell an NFT on the Ethereum network for less than $1,000 is pretty low. So if you can get into a minting process of a project that looks like it's going to be like something people want, right? Your likelihood of increasing that return on investment to over $1,000 is pretty high. And so as a direct result of the fees being high on the network, you almost drive up the price of something that the everyday guy is getting into, which is this NFT thing. Do I think that this could be a bubble? Definitely, especially if we're taking a look at like decreased fees later on. Decreased price of Ethereum can also affect this. But as it sits right now, that's kind of the formula that's going on. It's very interesting. All right. All right. Satyam Watt says, I already have a farm running on 1.2 gigahash. Should I add another rig? So as far as expanding mining farms, that's going to be primarily dependent on your risk tolerance. Now, for me personally, I've never gotten loans. I have sold cars to invest into mining rigs. I have sold other assets to invest into mining rigs. But one of the reasons I move a lot slower than, like, let's say some of the miners that have moved in around me recently is I don't take out huge loans. Now, I do know for a fact that I've talked to 2 farms that have taken out over $500,000 in loans, business loans, to stand up Bitcoin mining farms. Now, this is something that we've talked about in the past, but the barrier to entry of mining is increasing significantly, especially when we start talking about ASICs, right? So like a gold shell KD6 costing you $38,000. If you want to get into Bitcoin mining, you are going to probably have to take out loans, unless you're already independently wealthy. And then if you're already independently wealthy, you probably already have some sort of asset management or asset investment strategy that's already working for you. So it's kind of hard, right? If you want to upgrade your farm, like I said, the mining discipline is you take your profits and you buy more hardware. You take your profits and you buy more hardware. And you don't do that for a month. You don't do that for 2 months. You don't do that for a year. You do it for years, right? And this is a slow burn. It's a slow roll. And a lot of people, you know, they look and they go, well, I got to spend $2,000 on a GPU to make $3 a day. That doesn't seem very good. And, you know, or $6 a day or whatever it is. And I can understand that concept. I think some reading that you could do to maybe help you understand why that works is stuff like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and figuring out how to make investments in assets that generate revenue. And then maybe you'll be a little bit more comfortable with it from there. All right. John Lemon wanted to point out that the thrill has been the increasing on Flux. The market cap is nearly $1 billion now. That's always good news. Happy Dictator says, use the 2 miners chart for hash rate difficulty. Thanks, I'll check out the 2 miners chart. Jesse says, have you tried TON mining? It's pretty profitable right now. So I did try it. Unfortunately, I tried it apparently on the same day that the TON pool, TON-pool, got hacked. And so there was network issues going on. I had my whole entire 6,000 rig on there. It was projected to make like 27 TON a day. And after 24 hours, we made 3 TON. So because I don't want to lose a ton of profit, I went ahead and reduced that to, I went ahead and reduced that or moved that back over to ETH for now. But I have tried it. All right. So there you go as far as that goes. I'm going to scroll down here. Thanks for the 50 NOK from Stiggy38. And he said, thanks for the warm shower we had together yesterday. You're welcome. All right. And Gunmew said $5. Any business profitable in under 3 years these days is a rock star. Good strategy. Yep. I mean, I guess it depends on like how you roll it. All right. Let's see. My Gettr handle is son of a tech, and I linked it. You can go ahead and follow me there. I will repost it down for you guys. Here in a second. We have the new t-shirt added. We already have the OpenSea NFT added. You can make an offer on that. I'm inclined to just sell it to like whatever the best offer is by next Tuesday. We'll talk about it then. Glad you guys enjoyed the design. I had fun making it. All right. I guess kind of a public service announcement. Jesse said that he lost 124 Crow sending it to Coinbase on the Kronos network. He didn't know that Coinbase didn't support the Kronos network. So there you go. And then Barbu Daniel says, using your tutorial, can you specify which tutorial has an issue in it so we can get it corrected, Barbu? Because right now, you need to keep, if you're talking about Polygon Matic right now, specifically, we just talked about it in this show, and chain ID 137 is the correct one for Polygon, but it is having connection issues due to the DDoSing issues that were going on. Well, not even DDoS. It's not DDoS. It's a DDoS effect because of the demand for an NFT project on Polygon. That does not invalidate that that is the correct ID, okay? You need to understand the way these technologies work and that we actually have an entire portion of today's show talking about the issue with Polygon. Like specifically. So we're covering it and we're talking about it and we're staying up to date. Dave says that the Bitcoin network hash rate took a big drop overnight. We didn't check that today. Thanks for pointing that out. Let me take a look real quick. This two miners doesn't have a difficulty chart for that, does it? Holy moly. So here's the big dip he's talking about, 7-day history. We are at 190 exahash, 187 exahash on the 5th, or basically through the 5th at 5:02. It looks like around 5 a.m., somewhere around there, it dropped from 191 exahash to 174 exahash. It looks to be going down even further at 172 exahash right now. So there was a dump. And the interesting part to that would be that it looks like it's not a single pool. So we have a little bit of a drop off on Ant Pool, a little bit of a drop off on Poolin, a little bit of a drop off on F2 Pool, a little bit of a drop off on Binance and Via. So it looks to be across the board. Even KuCoin down here had a drop off. It does not look to be, to me at least right now, looking at these charts, it doesn't seem to be targeting a specific pool. So might take some time to figure out why that is. That is interesting though. Thanks for pointing that out. All right. Bruno says, Vitalik said there was a delay with the merge until end of 2022. I have not seen that. I will need evidence. Once again, we just looked at the latest data that said that he said there wouldn't be. Specifically, he said it to the Chinese market that there is not a delay. So I don't have any evidence for that unless it happened within the last few minutes, because that article was posted at 4:49 a.m. this morning on Binance.com that it was not delayed. So something could have happened between then and now, sure, but I didn't see it. I have been working obviously on this. If you guys don't mind hitting that like button, that would be super helpful. I hope you guys are enjoying the mining morning show that is now the mining afternoon show. All right. To be clear, I haven't been able to get anything really working on Polygon since last night either, Barbu. Once again, this industry is very difficult to make videos on. And I try to do my best, and I try to keep up with everything that's failing, anything that I've made a video on in the past that didn't work out. Look, I'm human. That's why I say this isn't trading advice, and I'm just telling you guys what I'm doing. In addition to that, right, I've definitely, I've made Pearl mining pools. That was a failed coin. I've made Ryo mining pools. That was a failed coin. I am not historically 100% accurate on any of this. Now, the good news is that I learn from all these things, and I keep learning more and more as I continue to do it, and I just try to pass on what I've learned. The TeamSpeak link is, if you are a SoakCoin member, will be under the Soak chat, or the membership tab on YouTube, Gunmuse. Thanks for the $1, Stacy O'Neill. And then Johnny Winter was like, here's 50 DKK. Thank you. Take some mining profit. What is your prediction of what coins is going to be after ETH goes out? I mean, that's a hard prediction, but obviously we're looking at kind of right now, like I said, luckily there's 10 coins that are making, around the same amount per day on, say, for example, the 3090. And if we calculate that out, right, you're looking at Cero, Ravencoin, Conflux, Cortex, Bitcash, Flux, Equilibria, Ycash, Xano, Conceal, all the way down to Firo. So Zero and Firo as well. Ryo's even in there, but be careful with Ryo. I don't think that it's being developed on right now. So. All right. 3Fox said BTC might be down to temporary ban on crypto mining in Kosovo. I doubt it because it's across multiple pools. Gunmuse says power outages due to weather. That may make more sense. We could dig in and see what geographical locations. That's kind of hard though. You would still, even if it was power outages, you would expect it to be concentrated on a single pool. So the oddity here is that it's not right now. Latrell, thanks for the $4.99. Let's see. I think we're getting there. Acura Addicted asked if I'm mining helium at all. No, I still have 3 helium miners on order. None of them have come in, and it's been over a year on 2 of them and over a month on 1 of them. So I don't know about helium because I just can't seem to get that running right now. Is Cero actually being developed? I haven't looked into it on that one. I know Ryo's not. Sarah seems like, I mean, we could try to do a little bit of a dive onto it here real quick, just so everybody's aware of it, right? So here's Sarah. It looks like the trading rate is on gate.io. So I don't know what we could look at the volume and all of that. I'd have to log in. Dang it. Okay. Can we look at, I can't look at any of the history, can I? $24-hour volume, 202,047. I'm going to go with a no. This one's weird. It's like Eminem's beard. Only 4 Bitcoin worth of market cap of 40,000. I mean, Gate.io is not terrible to sell on. I don't know. I'd probably stay away from it. Volume's not high enough. Hello. Yeah, so the public addresses down below are what I use for pretty much all of the side chains. Helio, thanks for asking. So BSC, Matic, ETH, all that stuff. Stacy O'Neill, $5. Thank you. I'm looking at buying an ASIC miner in a month. I already have an S19J Pro. What would you buy next and why? I mean, I would like personally, it depends on how long of a game you're playing. If you're playing the super long game, I just feel like you just go with Bitcoin ASIC miners. If you're playing the, I want to make a ton of money, and like, this is going to come down to like your risk tolerance, right? A KD6 is going to be super fun, but like if you would have ordered like if you would have paid that same amount, which they were going for like close to that, if you would have done that with the L7, I think that you wouldn't be happy right now, because like the L7 before it launched, when Dogecoin was like in the 60-cent range, was doing like $175 a day, and then after it launched it's only doing $82 a day. So you like your ROI got extended 2 years. Is Cadena going to be able to like compensate for that, right? I don't know. Like, how much does that profit get cut down? So it really is, like I said, like it's a risk tolerance game. Like, how much risk do you want to put into it? If you're just playing the long run game, I mean, you just keep going with Bitcoin and chill out, you know, grab another S19 Pro. Ruthless says, at Son of a Tech, saw your farm is approaching 6 gigahash. What is the breakdown of your new setup outside of the 5700 XTs? Yeah, sure. So I think we've covered most of them. Like, we had the 1660 Super mining rig, put in a bunch of 3090s. I think we're up to 10 3090s now. We added in a lot of what I do on the channel is just buying individual cards. So what ends up happening is I have a lot of like mixes and stuff, right? Like the 3070 Ti, which is a trash card. I wouldn't recommend it for mining, but I have one, right? You know, we have a 6800, we have a 6800 XT, but we didn't buy multiple of them. We have a 6700 XT, but we didn't buy multiple of them. We did buy multiple of the 6600 XTs. Those were good. And then like when I find a good card and then I find good prices on them, I buy them, right? So I found a good deal on 6600s. So I bought those and put those into a rig. So our latest rig build right now is a 12 GPU 6000 series rig, and that has 6 6600s, 3 6600 XTs, 6700, a 6800, and a 6800 XT. Is that right? Yeah. Yep. So that was the latest one. And then part of it has been adding on cards that have gone offline that I have to bring back online. I still have another 4 that need various repairs, etc. We're out of power supplies right now. So one of the big things is getting more power supplies. We went through Parallel Miner. We do have some power coming in this week, and then we will be putting some 1063 gigs on Flux. So that's kind of where we're at. Hila, thanks for sending the BNB. You rock. Entitled Dart says, I'm a good designer, can help you create NFTs. If you want to DM me, we could talk about something. That's cool. Tell me, is ETH mineable? Yes, Ethereum is mineable right now. It is. And then Cryptnaut said, just a heads up, KDA inflation is 14% at the moment, decreasing every month by a 1.5% per year until 2030 when it stabilizes for the next 100 years. I think that means what? The price is going to go up technically, like that's a good thing because it's decreasing. An 8 rack of 6600 XTs is $3,800. It says gun use with low power consumption. Yep. The problem with the 6000 series is determining what's profitable afterwards, right? So, but their Flux profitability is not that bad, right? You're over 30 solutions a second. So you're in the realm of the 3060s, for example, but for less power and less money up front. Accurate Addicted, thank you for the Canadian $5. Bitcoin hash rate is down because of the unrest in Kazakhstan, so the internet is down there. Interesting. I'm surprised that it's spread across so many pools, but thanks for the update, Accurate Addicted. Hey Jonas, you're having issues with mining ETH. You may want to get into a support Discord for that mining pool if you're having connections to the Stratum, but just meticulously go over your batch files, make sure your everything is set right, because obviously the computer needs to know what you're telling it to do. And if you have anything off a little bit, especially like in the address range, if you're having trouble connecting, is going to make that difficult. Gunmuse says that Walmart is selling mining motherboards for $50. That's interesting. I'll go look. He said the S37. I still have a lot of motherboards right now. Motherboard. A BTC S37 Pro mining motherboard shows for $250 right now. But there does look to be like a lot of mining stuff coming up on Walmart.com, so that's another source that you guys can look at. Dipu says, how many days left for ETH? You're looking at sometime in June of 2022. Ringstead Hedge said, Son of a Tech is 45 RTX A2000s for $23,000 US. Delivery 21st of January, a good deal. So it depends on what you're trying to mine, right? So like we could plug all of that in. What is it? Help me out, guys. That's 43 mega hash a second at 60 watts. Is that right? So we'll do a calculator. We'll do 45. I'm leaning towards yes, but let's do 45 times 43. We're looking at 1935 mega hash a second. And then on the power, we are looking at 60 times 45. So that's 2,700 watts. And then if we go ahead and calculate that out, we have Ethereum at 103 days, $103 a day after power cost. If that's 10 cents a kilowatt hour, go plug in your kilowatt hour to determine this. And then if you're looking at $23,000 divided by, $103 a day, that's 223 day ROI. On Ethereum, you would not make that back in time. So you're looking at June. So we're in January right now. February, March, April, May, June. You got 5 months. So 5 times 30, just a general, would be 150 days. If you do purchase it, if we're looking at price of Ethereum right now and we're expecting to move off of proof of work in June, then you would still have 70 days left on your ROI for that particular setup. And you would end up basically possibly needing to mine another coin with them. So I'll leave that up to you. Now, $23,000 divided by 45, you're paying $511 a pop for an A2000. I would do it personally, but that's just me. At the same time, you're only like your risk. You could go to Cadena, right, for only 10 grand more. Well, maybe a little more than that. Jesse says, at Son of a Tech, what is your recommendation for NVIDIA GPUs? Looking to build my first rig without breaking the bank. You have a 1660 or a 1060 rig a few years back. The A2000s are a good option. The 1660 Supers are a good option. And, oddly enough, because of their performance on Flux, the 3080 Ti's aren't looking too shabby either. As long as they maintain under $2,000, if they keep doing that. Joseph Johnson says, at Son of a Tech, got yourself up to 3.2 gigahash, started last February and used many of your videos to get started. My God. Congratulations, good sir. I hope it's performing good for you. Keep going. Keep grinding. Moem Fossa says, Polygon not working. Right now, it was working for me again. I'm currently on the Polygon mainnet, and it seems to be working. So that's cool. It was not working for like almost a whole day though. And there are still some connections going on. In fact, somebody just was in here saying that when they're trying to connect the ID 137, it's saying it's not there. Now, the way we figured out that they were saying that is they first accused me of being a scammer, which was funny because we were in the process of talking about why it's not working. But it was down. Rad says, who actually has A2000 in stock for sale? Right now, I don't know of anybody. Otherwise, I'd be buying one because I need one. But looks like somebody has an option to buy 45 of them for $23,000, which seems pretty crazy. But I am going to end the stream there. Thanks, everybody, for watching today. Be sure to hit a like button, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. Thanks for the chat revenue. We will be live tomorrow, hopefully 9:45 a.m. Central Time. And then, of course, from there on out, we always have our clips. And I do have more videos in the works the weeks are super busy, so I feel like I haven't really had time to like work on dedicated videos this week. I know I have a couple, but I was also hoping, actually specifically hoping for AA Wave to hit me up, and they have not, because I have a video using their mining frame. So if any of you guys are watching, I was emailing you, and I wanted to make sure we had like affiliate links, or you know, where I send people to purchase them. I think it's the website, but at the same time I made a purchase on that website and it hasn't shipped yet, so my test is not going through very well. But yeah, there's that video that we made, and that's the RX 6000 series rig, guys. And it looks like I have another 3090 in San Antonio I need to pick up. And we should have the new Sapphire mining GPU coming this week as well. So we'll get a review out on that as well.